So when we're talking about temperature, who can tell me what is the definition of temperature? Jenna? All right. Almost always someone says that. It's the very first thing that someone says, how hot or cold something is. Well, there's a couple of things that are not quite right about that. I think that in common vernacular, yes. In regular standard English, temperature is how hot or cold something is. But the hard thing about talking about temperature in science is that in science there's no such thing as cold. No such thing. You can't measure how cold something is. Because temperature is the average kinetic energy of the particles in an object. That's the book definition, right, that you probably have on your vocab sheets. If we're going to take kinetic energy, that's energy of motion, okay? And that's just the average of how things are moving. And therefore, if we're measuring up that energy, okay, it's going to, the more energy that we have, the hotter it will feel. The less energy we have, the colder it will feel. However, temperature itself is an average of that kinetic energy. This can be a little bit confusing, all right? And so when we're talking about the kinetic energy, that's why all these different temperature scales that we're going to learn today are a little bit different. Okay, so temperature is average kinetic energy. And I'm going to start with our slightly most difficult scale because you brought up that definition. And our trickiest scale is going to be Kelvin. Kelvin, the indicator for which is just a K. Okay, Kelvin, the indicator for which is just a K. It is the scale that's designed so that the lowest point on the scale is where there's absolutely no motion whatsoever. In theory. In reality, there's all sorts of other physics things that get in the way with that. But in theory, this would be the place where all motion stops. Okay? And that's called absolute